Hi, everybody. This is Bev Ryan. My business is Smart Women Publish, and I want to talk to you today about a book planning retreat I'm running in a couple of weeks. I thought it would be a good idea to share some information about what we're actually going to be doing within the retreat. So I'll run through this presentation to explain different aspects of the retreat. Please bear with me if I make some bloopers because that's just going to be the way it is. I really prefer myself to watch fairly natural presentations, and I know it's a lot easier on my nerves if I don't try to become a public speaker in the process. So the me that you're going to see in this video is the me that will be appearing at the retreat and coaching you through the content. So let's delve into it. August 29, 30, that's Thursday and Friday of the last week in August. The location is Brisbane, and I'll talk more about that shortly. So I think the important point to remember at the start is that a book plan is really your basic it's the foundation of your book, whether or not you want to publish traditionally later down the track, or you want to publish independently, or you want to do a mixture of both, which is known as a hybrid mix. That is some elements of traditional combined with the author putting funds towards the project. You don't need to know which of those you're going to choose at the start. You just need to write a really good book. And your book plan is the foundation of that. So it's really an important place to start. Okay, so again, I'm Bev Ryan. I'm a certified author accelerator book coach, which means that I work with author accelerator frameworks, which I'll explain in more detail. And I work with people who are planning their book or writing their book, and they know they need support to get through the process. I'm also a book production manager, which means I do know what quality is expected out there in the marketplace. So I manage a team of excellent graphic designers to do covers and layout, and team of editors who prepare manuscripts for that layout. I specialize in nonfiction books. Most of my clients are women, um, different different topics, which makes it a really fascinating business. I love what I do. So the reason I put the retreat together is to give you a reason to just shut the door of your business or tell everybody you're going to be away for a few days. I know every now and then I just long for a reason to do that for myself. So the retreat's designed to give you some space to think, to meet with some other really interesting women, and I can tell you there are some really fabulous, mature women going to be in this room, and you'll just get so much from their company for a couple of days. Gives you time to think about your book, whether or not you've started or haven't quite started or a bit along the way. It's always good to review a manuscript at times. So I'll be keeping that in mind as we go through the content. Gives you a great forum to discuss your ideas and to get some intelligent feedback. And also there'll be time for you to actually go and just shut yourself away and write answer or respond to worksheets, that sort of thing, and start developing the foundations of your book. So the program content is based on the Author Accelerator Nonfiction Book Blueprint, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's devised by Jenny Nash. Now, Jenny Nash is a very successful author in her own right, and she's been a very, very successful book coach in America for many, many years and worked with some of the top authors in the States. At the moment, to uh, become a client of Jenny Nash in terms of book coaching, it just takes a lot of money and you have to wait quite a bit of time. So a couple of years ago, Jenny decided to coach other people in using the frameworks that she's developed for nonfiction, also fiction, and also memoir. And that community she's gathered together, I think there's about 200 of us at the moment, certified book coaches around the world. And so the work that I'm doing with you at the retreat is based on this book, and you'll actually get a copy of this book that's on the screen at the moment. Just some of the books that Jenny has been in the background with. She's coached the authors of these books. Some of you may know some of a little pointer. Some of the authors, Lisa Cron, who has done, wait a minute, get my laser pointer. Lisa Cron, who's written Story Genius and Wired for Story. It's been very successful. with her work. Who else might you know? Jen Lim, Beyond Happiness, Jennifer Loudon, Why Bother, and many other books there. And the books on the screen have done very, very well. Many of them are bestsellers, legitimate bestsellers, not just Amazon bestsellers. Sorry, I'm just turning my pointer off here. Okay, so Jenny Nash is the originator of the Author Accelerator Blueprint, which I am certified to use, and that will be the foundation of what we do in the retreat. So this simple little diagram here shows you the steps that I'll be covering in the program. And again, I'll just get my little pointer out so I can take you through those. Starting at number 1, commitment. And a book does take commitment. So I think just by the fact that you're either interested in coming to the retreat or definitely coming, you've got a commitment to take your book seriously and do the work that's needed. So we will be basically starting the conversation at the retreat around business and book strategy, because they have to align. And even if you're, for example, if you're an author of a fiction book, which we're not really covering in the retreat, but even as an author of a fiction book, you have to see yourself as a business owner, because it's your job to market your book and to make your book successful. Nobody else is going to do it for you, frankly, even if you go down the traditional path, which is a fact. So we will then move on to clarifying the purpose of the book. So why are you doing it for yourself? Why are you doing it for other people? And the point. The point is quite a simple thing, but sometimes it's difficult to get to. The point is the overarching statement you want to make via your book. What is it you care enough about to talk about? Then we're going to look at who's going to read your book. Who do you want to read your book? Where are they? That's those sorts of questions. And then we think about, well, if I'm going to attract a reader to my book, what path am I going to take them through as they read my book? So we'll go through that, because that's where you start to figure out the content of your book. Then we'll talk about describing your book. And this is a really good exercise to get you to think about your book from the reader's point of view, because as AJ Harper said, a book is not about something, it's for someone. So this really the basis of this conversation. So if you're describing your book to someone, the right someone, what would you say about it? And that generally forms the back cover blurb of a book. And at this point in time, it's a great thing to think about, because it forces you to identify various aspects of your book and get real clarity on that. Then we'll talk about market surveying and how important it is to check with the right people that what you think you should cover in your book is actually what people want in your book. Actually, at the retreat, you can use the room full of intelligent women as part of a market survey, if you wish, if it's relevant to what you're writing. Then we'll talk about structure of your book. So how is this all going to work? What shape is it going to take? And then we start to dig down into the content and look at the outline of your book and why certain things will go in certain order within your book. So that is really a gem tool. That outcome outline is really a gem of a tool, and you'll be going through that as well. So the retreat will take you from step 1 to step 9 in various steps. You will understand all of those steps. You'll begin work on all of those steps. You may need to refine some of them after you go home, and that's fine, but it's going to take you from the starting point to something that's really valuable. And the follow-on steps, which we do not cover in the retreat, but certainly we'll talk about them, would be to start writing. So you would write your 4 key chapters, which I'll probably tell you about at the retreat, and then you would go, you take whatever time it takes to complete your draft and then refine your draft. And then your book would then go into the editing phase after that. So also at the retreat, you will meet Linda Johansson, who is a business and book marketing consultant. Her business is called The Growth Garden. Linda will actually be participating as a writer, but she will also be taking one session about business and book marketing, about the fundamentals, just to get you to start thinking about how to, what you need to put in place as you write your book. And also we will have drop-in guest, Candice Epthorpe, who is a local photographer. She's coming in on the second day, which is the Friday in the morning, to do a photo shoot for about an hour. So she'll be getting group photos and photos of us at work, photos of us enjoying being at work together and having some fun. And also, I'm sure she'll have time to take some individual photos as well. So you'll get copies of those photos and you'll be able to use them in whatever way that you might get some benefit from, either your website or materials or whatever. So at the end of the retreat, you will go home with clarity about your book basics, a book framework you can further refine, which is those steps 1 to 9. You'll be working through those steps with worksheets that I'll be giving to you. You will go home with the basics of book marketing from Linda. Linda's also going to be available for just one-to-one chats if you want to follow up with her and discuss any of the aspects of marketing that she's raised. You will also get access to a group resources hub, which I'll be setting up on my website. I'll be adding things to that before, during, and after the retreat, which you will be able to access at any time. And I really, truly think one of the greatest things will be this group of wonderful women who will be in the room. And like I said, they're amazing. I'm just really honoured that they've chosen to come and do this retreat with me. So I hope you can be there with us. Professional group images, which I've mentioned. And we'll have a follow-up Zoom call because I really want to keep in touch, and it'll give me a chance to kind of finalize anything that we may have started to talk about at the retreat, but really haven't had time to finish. So it might be a Q&A call, it might be a check-in call, it might be some coaching information call, and it might need to go for 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever. So we'll organize that before we go home from the retreat. And also, I'd love to set up or help you set up sort of an ongoing group call, what I really love to call book success team, because it does take a team of people to support you through writing of a book. And if that ongoing success team that comes out of the retreat is of benefit to you, that would be absolutely awesome. So just to wrap it all up, there are only 3 places available. I'll get my pointer back. Goes a bit astray here. There are only 3 places available. So far, there are 6 people participating. I'll be coaching and also doing some one-to-one time, which I don't think I've mentioned. So you'll have access to me one-to-one at different times during those 2 days. Time, again, Thursday 29th, Friday 30th August. Location, North Lakes Hotel, which is about 30 km north of Brisbane on the highway to the Sunshine Coast, just near the big IKEA. If you need to get public transport, you could catch a train to Mango Hill, and my partner or I could certainly just pick you up and drop you from the train station to the hotel, which is only about 2 km, or you could just grab an Uber or a taxi. Business investment, because it is a business expense. We're talking about business books here, or books that will help your business grow. So it's $948 for the 2 days, and a huge amount of value for that money. Accommodation, if you want to stay on site, you can certainly do that, but you would be required to book and pay that separately. Several of the women in the group are already have made that decision and will be at that location for 2 or 3 nights. So again, there's a little extra bonus from the retreat, is that off time that you potentially could have together. So just to bring it all together, everything is on this one page, smartwomenpublish.com/planning retreat, all one word. And I would dearly, dearly love to see you there.